Thank you for joining Vibe Talk. This is Think About Thursday. We are live with you right now. If this is your first time joining us, we are happy to have you. Welcome to the program. Because I don't want you just to make a resolution. I want you to think about Is it Arctic? Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Goals are not just saying something. It's about commitment. We are here and it's Think About Thursday. And we're so happy to be with you all. Thank you so much for joining us. As we think about Thursday, we're thinking about the word no. That's N-O. N-O. How many of you have a hard time with saying no? We want to know. We want to know. And if you're having a hard time saying no, why is it that you are having the hardest time saying no? For those of you who don't know how to find us, we are on your major podcasts. Wherever you listen to them, we are here. And I am waiting for my co-host. I might have missed some. I'm so sorry. But we're going to talk about saying no. We are going to talk about that, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about that. So let's get started. Okay. And good morning. And welcome to the program.
Good morning.
We are here. We're talking about saying no. We always ask the question here, what are you thankful for? We're still doing that. We are still doing that. And we're going to do that this morning. We're so grateful to be here. I'm thankful for the beautiful leaves that come with the fall. Trish, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for getting some of my homework done this morning.
Yay. Yeah, how's college going?
It's going good. It's not getting easier, but I can do it. I'm doing fine so far.
Yeah, love it. And we all think about having to say, being thankful, showing gratitude. We can never get enough of that. And we're going to be talking about that on this Think About Thursday. Think About Thursday. If it is your first time here, let us know where you're from, your city or state. We'd be glad to have you. And Wednesday Wellness is all about healing and your wellness. You're getting, being, and staying well. And the only way to be well is to want to get well. And so we mix both in on Thursday. We are streaming. Trish, can you tell them the places that we're streaming and they can listen to us at any time?
Yes, I can. We are streaming on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, and more streaming platforms. And we also have a YouTube channel. We're also streaming on there.
Yes. For those of you who did not know, we are now on YouTube. YouTube. You know, this year has been filled with a lot of great things. We also have, for those of you who want to sit with us on Instagram, Saturday nights after dark. There's no specific time, but catch us there after dark. I'm working on artwork for Saturday, Vibe Talk After Dark. We've got a lot of good things. You know, when we started this, it didn't look like what we're envisioning. Eyes could have never envisioned what Trisha and I have put together, and I'm so thankful for that. Trish, when do you find it hard to say no? Or is it hard for you to say no?
I'd say it is hard for me to say no in circumstances when somebody I love wants me to go with them somewhere and I don't feel like going, or when they want to vent to me about their issues and I'm going through my own issues. It's hard for me to say, no, not right now. I can't do it.
I don't have a problem saying no. I don't have a problem saying no. Uh, but we want to help you to understand how to be able to be powerful enough just to say no. I thought this would be good for both Wednesday Wellness and Think About Thursday because there are you, and you out there that have this issue. And we're going to find out relatably so why that may be the case. You know, when we are saying no, it involves us valuing ourselves. And that's what Vibe Talk brings to you, the power of valuing yourself. It also helps you and I to be able to look at ourselves and think about how we are prioritizing ourselves. But now, that power also can be new opportunities for you. Have you ever had a person that said no and then all of a sudden they're saying yes? Or all of a sudden the person that is saying no is saying the opposite. It can work both ways. A lot of times what begins to happen is we feel powerless. How many of you have felt powerless and you just couldn't say no? You said yes to everything. Has there been anybody that's felt like that out in our world that we live in?
I have.
And what was that like for you?
It was pressure because I felt like I always had to say yes or I won't have friends anymore because I said no, I don't want to do this certain thing with you guys, or I'm not comfortable doing something. And so it was hard for me to say no because I didn't want to lose the people that I was close to.
Yeah, yeah. You've said some pretty profound things. We're going to be right back. We're going to be right back. Cause we're called vibetalkfacingthelionpodcast. Go check your favorite streaming platforms. Feel free to be interactive and tell us your story. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, YouTube, and been so much more. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Go give it a shot. Did you know that you can ask Alexa and Siri to listen to Vibe Talk Facing the Lion? Go ahead, just ask them. We're back. And we are talking about on this Think About Thursday, the power of saying no. Let's think about this. Your mental health is key. You remember we talk about keys in here, and the first year one we talked about making yourself a key to you, that metaphorically is the opening to you, is the beginning key. Now when you think about that key of saying no, think about it opening the door to your mental health in wellness. Your mental health in wellness. You know, we as human don't think that our mental health is affected when really it is affected. And I want you to think about your being able to give your mental health priority. We understand that mental health has to do with how you think. And then it works down into how you behave. And all of this is coupled with your reaction, your response. And so Vibe Talk talks about ways to help us help our mental health as well as our emotional health. But now I want you to think about your power to say no. Does that mean that we should say no to everything? What do you all think? What do you think, Trish? Should we say no to everything?
No,
Why do you think we should not say no to everything?
because some things are needed, like things that we shouldn't say no to, things that we need, like therapy or relaxing. We shouldn't say no to that. We should try and spend time with ourselves and reflect. So we shouldn't say no to that sort of thing. Self-care.
Yeah, because it is self-care. Things we should say no to. I want to talk about something that everybody seems not to be talking about anymore. And I want to talk about uh, this dating. We are dating and everybody's meeting each other on Instagram and Facebook and all these social media sites. And both men and women, we know that we have physical sensory. We know when we like something or someone, I should say. And so we need to create safe boundary. Safe boundary. So are you saying no to these people that you're meeting and they want to take it a closer step when you're not feeling ready or you're not feeling safe? We're talking about violating another person. Yes, we are the podcast that talks about those feelings and emotions. Because you didn't say no, it has resulted in many women feeling and many men feeling. Let's look at both sides of the spectrum. There has been date rape, there has been unwanted advances, and even we have gotten a new saying, the Me Too movement. Who's at fault? Did you set clear boundaries? Or did you say yes, but maybe no? Or did you say no when your reaction was saying yes? Isn't it something to think about? Going back to consequences, no one should be violated. Let's put that on the table right here and now. But this is why this is why we are begging you to set clear boundaries. We're talking to both men and women. We're talking to the young who start out with inexperienced dating and think that everything is fine. Because aside from that, you will have your mental and emotional health to think about. So we're going to talk about how we handle these things. We want you to be able to not rush when you need to say no. We want you to give yourself time to think about what you do and how you do. What you do and how you do. Because you know what happens? There are consequences to bear. Men, women, teen, children. For the mature audience, when do you set the limits? Um, how about when you go about something? You know, you didn't hear me say don't or do, and we're not that kind of show or podcast. We want to give you something to think. How are you going about it? Are you thinking about what happens when you get in particular circumstances? Or what could happen if you got into certain situations? We always want you to think about safety measures. You always want you to think about that. You have alternatives. The power of the brain is oh so beautiful. You have, and I always stress this with Vibe Talk, Facing the Lion, your front brain, left brain, right brain, and your brain in the back of your head. Although that muscle is as tiny as a fist, it is mighty powerful. We exercise for you to think. We exercise for you to think. One more time for emphasis. We exercise for you to think. Use your brain. Everything does not have to be a yes, especially when you are the person that may or may not feel comfortable. You know, saying no requires a bit of honesty on my part and on your part. Sometimes we will make up things just because we want to say no. And Trish set the podcast for us by saying what she's experienced when saying no, or the fear of saying no. She gave us several reasons, and I thought, Trish, that was excellent about the reasons why we just can't say no. But now, when we think about things, are we just being honest? How many times have you not wanted to do something, but you made an excuse instead of telling the truth? I've done that.
I
And
have.
then, yeah, yeah. And then with me, it goes, I just should have told them no. Because you know what? I feel better when I just face it head on. And that's what we're doing. That's part of our facing the lion, just being honest with ourselves and other people. And it's going to help your mental state. Trish, I want to ask you a question since you are the co host. When you said that you have experienced that, how did that work out for you?
It didn't work out well because I wasn't happy about the outcome that came with me saying yes, and I make excuses too. Instead of saying no, I would either not show up or I'll just pretend like I don't hear them and they ask me, "Why didn't you come?" And I make an excuse like, "Oh, I was sick or something," when I should
Yeah.
have just said, "I didn't want to I didn't want to show up. I don't want to I It was already a no. It was an automatic no before you even asked that question."
Thank
So
you for joining us. Go ahead.
so I should have said it.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know it, we are on live. Cheyenne, good morning. If you can hear me, Cheyenne, could you please put your virtual hand up so I know that you are in the room? Thank you for joining us. There you go. Cheyenne, where are you from? We're talking about the power of saying no. Where are you from, Cheyenne? And Trish, I guess we should tell everybody where we're from. Palmdale, California,
I'm from South Carolina.
and Cheyenne is from New Jersey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cheyenne, do you have a hard time saying no? And if you do, what has been your experience with having a hard time saying no. She says, yes, LOL. Welcome, Cheyenne, to Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. So, you want to tell us about your experience when you have said no? Because we're going to touch on some things today. And we want to say good morning to everybody that is on here. Good morning, Mia. And those of you who are here, let us know where you're from. The three things that we give you are things to think about. You don't necessarily have to do them because we're not mind controllers. We want you to feel powerful in your own housed body. We want you to feel like you are in your driver's seat. Cheyenne says, I find it difficult to say no. Oh, I like this because we just talked about this. Thank you for being honest. She says, I find it difficult to say no to sexual favors when I don't want to. Did we not just talk about that to my co-host?
Yes, we just did.
Yeah. And so we would be remiss if we didn't, because we realize that this has become an issue. And by the way, this podcast is being recorded for you guys to be able to go and listen to and share on your pages. Cheyenne, thank you for the honesty. Yeah, I think more and more. And we want you guys to realize that it's not just women. It's guys too. Believe it or not. It's guys too that this happens to. You know, and we want you to be able to exercise your beautiful power of the brain. We want you to exercise that because it's so important. Cheyenne says, can you see it as well, Trish?
Yes, I can.
Okay, go ahead and read it because we want to give you a chance to let your voice be heard as well.
Cheyenne says, I find it that men typically try to push past the no, and it makes it more difficult.
Yeah. And you men, we're asking you when to say no. Like, no, I should not do that. No, I should respect it. No, she has value. No. Because when you go against the grain and you go against that no and push anyway, you're going to get yourself into a whole lot of problems. Cheyenne, keep writing. We are looking at your writing. Cheyenne says, I think you're entitled to say no. Cheyenne, I think you're right. And I'd like for you to know that if you replace the thinking, because we are Think About Thursday today, with you have a right to say no whenever. Thank you for that. Very powerful. We're going to touch the depths of conversation where no one dares to go. Why are we doing that? Because your emotions, your emotional health, and your mental health is very important. There are victims that have been men and women alike, and because I am a wellness coach, I've came across them that have suffered consequences on both sides because someone didn't say. We want you to be able to keep writing. We want to say thank you guys for joining us. Thank you so much. It means so much to us. Cheyenne, how did you find us? Just kind of want to know. Because our page is growing And we want you guys to join us live whenever you can. And even when we're not here, go ahead and put your comments in. We'll read them. We do check our pages. And I just thank you. She wants to call in. You surely may. You surely may. She said, I want to speak to. I love that. This is what it's all about, Cheyenne. What's the number, Trisha? You want to put it there for her? We are ready for your calls. I love it. Our number is, yep, 661-503-8993. And you are more than welcome to call. Our phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to hear from Cheyenne because this is what we want you to do, ladies and gentlemen. We want you to be able to speak up. We don't want you to feel like no one hears you. And I'm bringing this particular podcast to you because I think it's important. I think it's important that we talk about people who have been victimized because they just felt like they were powerless. Even in the act of a rape or a sexual assault, which rape is, and we just don't want you to. Oh, it's 503-8993. Here, hold on just a moment. Hold on just one second, okay? And you have to do 661. There you go. See, our lines really do work. Good morning, Cheyenne. Go ahead, baby. Speak up.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear her, Trish?
Yes, I can.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so where were we on the topic of no?
We were talking about sexual advances, rape being an assault, and people finding themselves in situations because of feeling powerless and basically not feeling victim. And when it happens, how are you able to assess the situation? Go ahead, baby. We're listening.
Well, like I was saying, I find it really difficult when I haven't had experiences with women, but I'm sure it's possible too. Like I'm not saying that it doesn't happen with women, but I find that men typically like to guilt you after you say no. And that's something that's really uncomfortable because I feel like the word no should be it. Like, the no is a full sentence.
Yes. We are listening to you. Speak right up. We're listening. It's your floor.
So that being said, when somebody says the word no, that should be final. There should be no why. There should be no how come. There should be no, oh, but please. No. The answer is no. No, regardless. It doesn't have to be a sexual favor. It could be anything. You feel like it's not right for you in that moment, say no. There's nothing stopping you. But the problem is when people don't respond properly to that word.
That's the challenge. Everyone hear that? Go ahead. We're listening to you.
Let's see.
And thank you, by the way, for calling. Our lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. You always have connection with us, as Cheyenne is on, and Cheyenne is speaking up and speaking out, showing you how to do it. Trish, is there anything that you'd like to say to Cheyenne?
Hi. I love the fact that you're very powerful and very passionate about what you just said. I really love that. I can feel it in my soul.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell you to keep that in mind and keep that same mindset that you have when you find it hard to say no to men, because I've been in a situation like that and I've been guilt tripped for that, for saying no to that. And because I gave up on saying no, it became addictive in my relationship. And I had to put a stop to it because it was the priority. It wasn't love, it was just an obsession. And saying no in that situation stops it from getting there to a point where it's hard to stop.
Yeah, I've totally been in that situation as well. Once you allow a person to cross that boundary that you set by saying no, you are giving them the right to keep doing that. Because now they feel that they can manipulate and push you past your boundaries. You gave them that right.
Stay tuned. We are online with Cheyenne. We will be right back. Be right back. Because I don't want you just to make a resolution. Because we're called Vibetalk the Lion Podcast. Go check your favorite streaming platforms. Feel free to be interactive and tell us your stories. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, YouTube, and so much more. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Go give it a shot. Did you know that VibeTalk provides one-on-one and group sessions customized just for you? Find us on Facebook and Instagram. We're back with Cheyenne. Cheyenne,
Oh.
your experience with, like you said, when you have had this issue happen with men when you say no, how did it make you feel, honestly, if you're okay with talking about it?
It made me feel powerless. It made me feel like my words meant nothing. And that's not true. Words are very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree 100% when men or women.
Yeah, it definitely could be women too. It's just I haven't had that personal experience.
I love it that you have not. Go ahead, baby.
But I'm not saying that it can't happen. It absolutely can happen. And I
Good
think
morning,
that's something
Asher.
that we don't talk about enough is men not being able to say no as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it works both sides. Asher, where are you from? And thank you for joining us. We are on different streams right now, and we're talking about the word no. And we have Cheyenne talking with us. Cheyenne, we thank you. Is that Virginia? Welcome, welcome. What advice would you give, or what motivation or inspiration would you give someone, Cheyenne, that is in your shoes? What would you say to them?
I would say if there was a person that is not respecting their boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
it's time to move on. Simply. because boundaries are very important and fundamental of building any sort of relationship. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Any type of relationship, whether it be a family member, a friends with benefits, even boss.
No.
If you say no, that should be respected.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. We're so thankful to have you guys here today, and we want you guys to be able to utilize our phone lines. Don't be afraid to speak up and speak out, because you're going to help someone else be inspired or motivated. This is Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. And we're so grateful for all of you. We want to inspire you. And if you're brave enough, like Cheyenne and Asher and all of these who are with us here today, we ask that you think about helping others through your stories. We'd like to say thank you, Cheyenne. Is there anything else you want to say, Cheyenne?
I actually have a question. During your quick commercial break, you mentioned curated a group session.
Yes.
What kind of groups do you offer, and what is your ask for that?
You said, what is our what? That last part.
What kind of groups do you offer, and like what kind of ask do you have for that, like monetarily?
Okay. What we do is, let's say you're going to be interested, and this is for everybody. Thank you for that question. We are, right now, we do individual group. There's no payments involved. Of course, if you guys want to donate to the program, you can do that, but we don't charge you for it. You're going to be with me because I am a professional certified life and wellness coach. And we help you to discover things about yourself while working out what's going on. You know, a lot of people have never talked about their emotional wellness or their mental wellness. Okay, so that's one way. And the way you get a hold of me is through Facebook. You can send me a private message. We're on Instagram by the same name, vibe underscore talk. Our group is going to consist of everyone getting on video. And
Okay.
Go ahead, baby. What'd you say?
No, I just said okay. So yeah, I'm definitely interested. I love that you're a professional life coach.
Yes.
I have been on and off with therapy since I was 12. I'm 26 now.
Okay.
So, emotional wellness and mental well-being are some things that I'm very passionate about.
Uh-huh.
So I am starting back up therapy because I truly feel like it's so beneficial, and I feel like I've been neglecting it, and that is not beneficial. So I would love to join some of the group talks as well.
Sure.
Because I find it like, like a group therapy type situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I want to tell you guys, before I say anything else, we have so many podcasts where you can listen to it. You can hashtag Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. You can go to YouTube. That should be in our comments. And when I'm not here, you guys can listen to that. You can even answer the questions. We want you guys to be able to do that. So we used to have, and Asher, I think you were here. If I'm not correct, you were here when we did spoons. And because I remember the name, Asher. If that's you. We are on Facebook. I would say about 2-3 times a week, Trish.
Yep, two or three.
Yeah. And so all of our podcasts, if you like this one, you can go and look at them. They're all recorded. This one's going to be recorded because you see your voice, my voice, Trisha's voice, Asher's voice. It's important. You never know how you can help someone to help themselves. So what I'd like you to do, since you're interested, because my days are Wednesday and Thursday, all you have to do, Cheyenne, is tell me what time you want to meet. And we'll do it on your time. I'm on Cali's time, because I'm on the West Coast.
Yeah. You are 3 hours behind.
It is, what time is it here? It's 7:19 here. What time is it there?
Yeah, it's 10:19 here.
Okay, yes. So what I need you to do is send me a quick message. You can even send it through this line, because this line is exclusively for Vibe Talk, and tell me what's a good time for you next week. We can do it next week. And
yeah,
what'll happen is, and I'm telling everyone this, so you already know, must meet on video.
That's fine by me.
Yeah, a lot of people say, well, why? Because I am professional in this, and I need to know that I'm talking to a real person. And you need to know that you're talking to a real person. We take your feelings and your emotions and your mental health very seriously.
Yeah, no, I'm totally for a video.
Okay.
Because I think that body language often speaks louder than words.
Yes, yes. So you're on the line. This line that Cheyenne is on is in the comments. Trish, if you wouldn't mind putting it again so people can see it. 661-503-8993 connects to me. It's not a home number. It's exclusively for all of clientele that's interested. And you can, whatever you want to say, okay? You're able to text me and leave a voicemail as well. Thank you for that, Cheyenne. Thank you so much. Any more questions? We like our questions, don't we? Cheyenne, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay.
Maybe those are the questions do I have. Yeah, I guess, just what other things have you guys touched on today that I may have missed?
Trish, you want to tell her?
We talked about, well, my experience in saying no with peer pressure with friends in situations. We've talked about that. And we talked about how no is important, and sometimes there are situations where we don't need to say no, where we need to say yes.
We talked about sexual assault and trying to build a boundary and think about consequences. Anybody that has been in that situation or has caused that situation, what it looks like for them. And we're just quite honest about emotions and feelings here. I think this is a really good topic, and a lot of women and men alike may feel very uncomfortable, but it is happening. It is such a thing. And Cheyenne, we can't say thank you enough for getting on here and being courageous just like a lion is. That took a lot of courage for you to get on here and call us. And you said, I want to speak. And that's what we're looking for, people that want to speak. And that's why I think the group session is going to be so good. You're going to do your first session with me. The second, all the sessions are with me, but your first session is a little bit more personal. The group session is going to have yourself, myself, and Trish, and whoever else would like to join. And we just basically talk about things that the podcast has covered. That's kind of your open door to be able to say, this or this has been bothering me, and what you're going to find out in the group. There's no judgment. I don't ever let people do that. And if I think they're doing it, I will have a sit down with them, because I have met with all kind of people. Asher, thank you so much. So it's like that. So they're called one-on-ones, the individual, and you don't ever have to feel like you gotta pay for it. Whatever you want to do. I'm getting a P.O. box. Even a thank you card is a sign of gratefulness. So we're getting a P.O. box. You never have to worry about money or insurance. You can always, as long as you're working on your wellness, you're going to help people work on their wellness. So I want you to know that. But if you guys want to be in the group, if you want to be in the group session, all you have to do is send a text here on the Facebook page. We'd like for you guys, if you haven't already, to go to our Facebook page. Trish, you have the link up already. And we're going to put the link up so that you guys can find us. Join our page, okay? We ask for support in that way. And that way you're never going to miss, because all of this gets recorded so that you'll always have it, okay?
Yeah, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome that you're spreading the word of wellness. That's so important. People neglect it so often.
Yeah, they do.
I'm guilty. I said I've been on and off with therapy. I haven't been in therapy for a few months now, and I feel like so off and just not right,
Mm-hmm. Do me a favor, Cheyenne. And
Sure.
I need you to say this with me. I need you to say, I forgive myself for putting my emotional and mental health off. Could you do that for me, please?
Yes. I forgive myself for putting off, what was the rest of it?
However you want to put it.
Okay. So I forgive myself for neglecting my mental well-being.
I love that. The reason I had you do that is because so many of us feel guilty about what we didn't do, that I want you to kind of change the brain wave as to what you're going to do presently. You woke up this morning, Cheyenne. So each day that you wake up, baby, each day you wake up is a new day for you to start new. Always remember that.
Oh, I always think that way. It's something that I'm very passionate about. I don't know if you ever have done talks, like AA or NA talks, but that's something that I'm also very passionate about.
Yes, we have done that.
So I think the phrase one day at a time can apply to literally every situation.
Good morning for those of you who are coming in. Please tell us where you're from. I'm way on the West Coast. We have online with us Cheyenne this morning, who has been brave enough to tell about her story. Thank you so much. Where are you from? And Asher from Virginia. My co-host, where are you from?
South Carolina.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining us. Yeah, Cheyenne, I said that because so many people are guilted. They feel guilty about things they did not do or have not done. You still have time. And I want you to tell yourself every day, it's a new day. You're going to begin a new day. And this is a start. Most people won't even come in here to admit the things that you do. They try to avoid it at all costs, you know? And we don't want that for everybody.
Oh, I have such a story to share. It's just not this topic, but whenever it does come up, I am starting a new life.
Love
completely.
it.
Since last since July 31st of last year,
Mm-hmm.
I went through a horrendous breakup.
Okay.
And my life has been completely different since. And every day is a challenge. Every day is a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm only getting stronger from it.
Love that. And I hope that everyone who is listening can feel her words. She said she went through a horrendous breakup, and ever since then, her life has changed. It has been a learning experience for her, a challenge for her. And that is exactly what Vibe Talk is all about. We've talked about so much. 3 years it'll be come at the end of December. 3 years.
So
And
that's amazing. I hope you keep up this podcast because so far I'm really enjoying it.
I love it. And we love to have you on here because you know what? Our voice helps another voice speak up and reach.
Exactly. And that's why I mentioned the whole AANA thing because that's their whole premise.
Yes. Yes.
That's the whole idea of those organizations. And there's so many of them too. Like you don't have to have a substance addiction to find one of those groups.
Yes.
My mother is in a codependency group.
Yeah.
It's called Coda Anonymous.
Very familiar with it.
She's found such strength and hope through this group, and I'm so happy for her that she found that.
Yes. Yes. Always expressing yourself and seeing that there are others who find your story relatable, it helps. And that's why we're doing the group thing. So anybody that wants to join the group, it's going to be, you must have a video because that way you get to interact wherever you are. You can be in Japan and be sitting in our group. Okay. And we want people to know that. So we need at least 5 or more people. And there's no minimum, no maximum to come into our virtual room. So you're going to be hearing more about that. Right now I'm doing one-on-one, and we just want to help people become aware of their emotional and mental health. Stop dismissing that. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We'll be right back.
Cause we're called Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Go check your favorite streaming platforms. Feel free to be interactive and tell us your stories. Like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, YouTube, and so much more. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Go give it a shot.
We're back. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We have Cheyenne on the line with us. Our discussion for Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast is saying no. How many of you are having a problem, or a challenge, I should say, with saying no? Good morning, Summer. Good morning to all of you. We're back now, and we're going to do a wrap up of this through Trisha's Treasures. Trish, we leave it to you.
Wow.
What was that?
Oh, I was turning it over to our co-host.
Oh,
Stay with us if you can. Go ahead, Trish.
No can mean so many things. It is a word, but it is also a statement. It is also something that can mean a whole entire paragraph of something. And it means not today, not optional, never again. Many things that we need to avoid as people and for our own personal wellness in saying no, whether it's to drugs or to an abusive relationship or whether it's to doing something that you don't feel comfortable doing. It's necessary, very, very necessary to say no. And how I know personally is I've said no to situations before, even though it was very hard for me. When it's something that our soul tells us that you don't need this and you have to say no, go ahead and say it. Even though it's a pause for me before I say no, but that's good though. It makes me think about why am I saying no in the first place? Even though I don't explain it to the person why I'm saying no, but I know personally for my well-being why I'm saying no in a situation and how it's going to make me feel. So
Good
cherish
morning.
your voice and how you have the gift from God to speak out and say no, whether it's little things or things that are very, very, very serious. Say no. It'll help you out.
Thank you for those words of empowerment. Learning to say no means that for you, you create for yourself boundary, self-care, and well-being. We want you to think about improving your mental, emotional, and physical health. Think about, too, your well-being. Our Wednesday wellness motto is get well, stay well, and be well. With something to think about, this is Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We want to thank all of our guests for being here, whether you are on the West Coast, East Coast, out of the continent. We know that you'll find our Vibe Talk Facing the Lion very powerful and inspiring. Our last question of the day. Trish, would you like to ask that last question of the day?
What have you learned or discovered about yourself today? And what was your experience like here today?
We're going to start with Trish. And Asher, you can put your things in the comment, your comment. We're going to start with to start with our caller today. What was it like for you being here today, Cheyenne?
Very empowering. I felt heard. I felt that my words meant something. And I hope that whoever is listening can gain from my personal experiences as well as Trish's and yours and whoever else is in the comments. I hope we can all just learn from each other because that's what this is all about, and I love that.
Yeah. We enjoyed you too. And that's what we want. For you guys to speak up, speak out. You are very much part of the Vibe Talk podcast. And that's why we have this for your mental and emotional health. Because some people just never get a chance to really express how they feel. Next, we're going to go with Trish. What was your experience here, Trish, and how did it make you feel?
My experience here, I was very happy because we got a caller. We haven't had a caller in a while, but I'm so glad that we got one and more listeners today. And today I've learned from here that even though I love the people that I love and I love saying yes to make them happy, I matter first, because if it doesn't match with the wellness of my mental health, then I need to self-check myself before I start saying yes to everything, and I need to say no. It's okay to say no and pause. It is totally fine. I need to let myself know that a lot before I say yes.
Thank you so much. And me finally, Asher, if you want to go ahead in the comments to answer, you may. You don't have to. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. So when I think about myself, I think about knowledge is power. And just because you may feel afraid, no worries, Asher. We're just asking the question, what did you learn about today's podcast and how did it make you feel? And it's my turn. When we know, we grow. There have been so many people who just didn't say no. And we don't play the blame game. We're just simply starting conversations about no. There's wide spectrums of why people can't say no. There are boundaries when people need to say no. Each are powerful. Come a little closer. That means hear me out. Each are powerful. So be that person that says no when you need to. I want to thank Trish for being here. I want to say thank you, Cheyenne, for being our caller. And I want to thank you, Asher, for being here with us today. Thank you for those of you who are listening to us to the ends of the earth. Thank you. Vibe Talk is here for your listening pleasure and for you to help you help yourself. What we'd like for you to do today is please let someone else know about this conversation, either by sharing this podcast because it will go up just as soon as we're finished, and do us a favor as well as doing yourself a favor. Find and follow us on our YouTube pages, also our Instagram and Facebook page. We appreciate you, and we thank you, and we ask that you think about Thursday each and every day. Thank you for joining my podcast. I appreciate you, and we will see you soon. In the meantime, I wish you to get well, stay well, and be well. We are Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Thank you.
Because I don't want you just to make a resolution. I want you to think about. I was really about to lose it, then I got the vibe with it. I really took my time with it. I really love to ride with it. Really got the vibe with it. I took my time with it. I really love to ride with it. You probably see I'm better you. When you get the vibe with it, yeah. When you get the vibe with it, yeah.
I'm not just saying something. It's about commitment. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.